Back, Elaine. Great to have you here again in the Zoom room after a little absence. Great chat, long one, but yeah, we had quite a lot to catch up on. So let's dive in, shall we, to today's lesson and our quote for today. So just a quick one. How is my voice? I just wanted to check that. Is the sound quality okay?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's normal.
It's okay. Yeah, okay.
Yes,
I just noticed. Okay, yeah.
seems
Uh,
pretty
and
normal. Yes,
switch it to that. Just experiment different mics. How's that?
not as good. No,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. That's this.
a little bit slurry.
Yeah, yeah. It's
That's
it's
better.
it's yeah, yeah. It's just using a different mic. Okay, that's fine. So I fixed that. Thanks for that feedback. All right, so let's dive into today's quote. First day of the AOLG Go program after the course, which finished yesterday. Actually, we're going to finish, going to do yesterday's session this Sunday because Archie couldn't make it. But
Okay.
technically, the course is over. So this is
Yeah.
day one of the Art of Letting Go program, which begins with a lovely quote from T.S. Eliot. So if you can read that for
hmm
us, kindly.
What we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. Mm.
Yeah, it's from a poem called Little Gidding by one of the great poets of the 20th century, T.S. Eliot, who, as many poets do, had some deeper insight into human nature, philosophy, truth. And he's stating the obvious that may have been obscured in the ego's upside down thought system. And so it needs to be deeply contemplated to become obvious to you, to anyone. So ask yourself the question, what will the end of all my exploring be? And just take a breath, sit quietly for 30 seconds, a minute, and wait for an answer to the question. Ask yourself, what will the end of all my exploring be? Close your eyes if you want. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Just a few deep breaths in and out. And wait for an answer. Don't force anything. Just go into this quiet state where you're listening for the answer. Notice what's arising. Notice any thoughts. And maybe you reach a state where nothing comes to you. You have no thoughts or emotions, but only an experience of deep peace. And then you will have experienced the ultimate answer, beyond thought. The end of all your exploring is to come to that state of peace and to know it for the first time. That's another quote by T.S. Eliot. The end of all of our exploring will be to arrive at the beginning of the journey and to know it for the first time. So the end is where we start from. We start at the end of a course, but it's really the beginning of a new cycle of exploration in this hero's journey, which is circular. The final stage of it, you return to the same place as you left, living your life in this world, but now in an enlightened state of mind, which you truly know yourself for the first time. That state is the Holy Grail, the Philosopher's Stone, the elixir of life, the ground of being, love itself, as it's been called in various spiritual traditions, which is the essence of who you really are, your true self and your eternal home. That's where it all begins, the alpha and the omega, and it ends in the same place, in the same state of mind. So in that experience, Elaine, did any of that come to you? Did you think anything? Did you find a state where you were just quiet, you were just peaceful?
Well,
What happened for you?
to be honest, the thinking mind couldn't really come up with an answer, so there was nothing.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, because
Nothing comes to you.
no.
No thoughts or emotions, but only an experience of peace. So was that nothingness, was that peaceful?
Oh, yes. Well, it was just no emotions at all, nothing.
Hmm. So how did that nothing feel?
Rather pleasant actually, because
Oh,
there's nothing to do, nothing to fix, nothing.
yeah.
Just quiet.
State of no thought, right? Thoughtless awareness,
Yeah.
where there's an awareness, which we call nothing because there's no thought, but
Mm.
there's something, there's an awareness still
Oh,
going on.
yeah. Yeah.
And there's an experience in that awareness of, yeah, it's actually very peaceful.
Yeah.
So there's a little taste of the end of the journey. Well,
So
the
that's
end of all my
almost,
exploring be is to come to that state of no thingness, right? No thing, no form, formless awareness, and just rest in that forever, for eternity.
so it
And
was like
obviously,
a
there's no time.
koan. It was like a bit of a koan, that, wasn't it? That
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
it just
These kinds
really,
of questions stop the conscious mind. What will the end of all my exploring be? And most people are going to struggle for an intellectual answer to that.
mm,
You might say conceptually, well, it'll be to become enlightened, or it'll be the kingdom of heaven. But if you really ask and you just wait for an answer intuitively, you'll probably end up in exactly what the answer is, in the state of no thingness.
mm,
That's the answer, right? That
mm,
experience is the answer. So in no thought, thoughtless awareness, you got your answer. The
mm,
ego, of course, says no, you didn't get an answer, but you actually did.
mm, mm.
It's just not an
Okay.
answer in the ego's framework.
Yeah,
So
very,
yeah, so that's like a Zen koan, exactly that. You
very
ask a
good.
question, and the
Mm.
question is designed to help the questioner to become more aware of the truth of who they really are experientially by questioning, by working through that koan, by thinking about it. Eventually, it reveals the truth to them. That's what a good Zen koan does.
Mm.
So great. I did that in a minute.
Yeah.
So the hero's journey is this circular process. Just to recap, I mean, it's the end of the course. We did this in the course, but there's these three main phases where we depart the known world. We then have an initiation through various adventures, trials, challenges, temptations, tribulations, what we call the adventure of the journey. And then once we've gone through a dark night of the soul, there's a return. There's the abyss, which is the death of the ego, the rebirth into our true self, and then the return to the known world. And bringing back the gifts that we've got. So sometimes in stories, there's actually a physical gift, the Holy Grail, or the Philosopher's Stone, or this elixir of life. But the real gift is to bring back the knowledge that you have acquired through the journey. And you bring that back into your society, which doesn't know that knowledge, and you now become a teacher. And you become a mentor in someone else's journey, a mentor, a helper, a guide to help someone else to awaken. So the student becomes the teacher. The teacher then teaches other students who go through the same journey and become teachers, and so it goes. And, that's how it's been going forever. Every great teacher or guru was once a student, and then they attained some level of mastery, and then they became the teacher to replace the old teachers who eventually die. No one lives forever, so they have to go, and then so it's been an endless cycle. This has been going on forever. since humanity began. This hero's journey has been going on, and there are the 12 phases of it. So let's make that a bit bigger, actually. I think first act. Oops. So the first act is you start in the ordinary world, just ordinary humdrum, but there's a sense of dissatisfaction. It's like, I'm not really that happy. I'm searching for something. Remember the Matrix? Neo is,
yes.
He's asleep, but he's searching. It shows his computer searching. So clearly he's not happy, right? You're not searching if you're happy. And then immediately there's a call to adventure. Trinity comes on his computer and says, "Wake up, Neo. Knock, knock, door. Follow the white rabbit." He's like, "What the hell's going on?" Right? Call. So, and that can happen in many ways. In that instance, with someone on his computer and a knock on the door, it might be a friend giving you a book like A Course in Miracles, or inviting you to a workshop or a seminar, or it can happen many, many ways. But there's some call to do something different, go on an adventure. It does not necessarily leave and go anywhere else physically. And then there's a refusal of the call. So many people go, no, it's not for me. No. And they back out of it. Even Neo in the movie, if you remember, he was guided by Morpheus to go and climb out the window and go across the scaffolding, but he refused it. He said, "I can't do this," because his faith wasn't strong enough. So he refuses the call, but he still met his mentor, so he got another chance. He goes and he meets Morpheus. And then there's a crossing of the threshold, which is a decision, a point of no return. That's the famous pull scene. It's like, okay, so, which way are you going to go? You're going to go back to sleep, believe whatever you want to believe, or you're going to take the red pill, and I'm going to show you exactly what's really going on. What is the Matrix? And also, more importantly, who are you? So the question, first of all, starts, well, what is the world? But then in the second act, it becomes more about who he is, right? Self-concept, self-identity. Who are you really? And so the second act is now the discovery of his true self. He's got various tests, allies, enemies. This is when he's on the ship, Nebuchadnezzar, and some people are clearly for him and they want him to succeed, and others are clearly against him. So he's got enemies, he's got various tests, he's got to do his training. Then he has to go and see the oracle. That's the inner cave scene where he goes in literally into a cave, into a room, and has a conversation that prepares him for his ordeal. So he's now got to go and face the ego in the form of Smith, the agent. And he's got to rescue Morpheus. He's got to do that, and then he's got to face him one-on-one and face his fear of death. And in that process, you remember the final scene in the subway where he goes, "My name is Neo," and he rises up. He claims his true identity, and he casts the demon off his back, literally. And he's learned to fly, literally. It's like, okay, so you claim your true identity, you get this power surge, which the demon doesn't really understand, because it only understands the rules of the Matrix, doesn't understand something that's anomalous to the Matrix, and that's his awakening. But he hasn't quite done it. He then has to try and go back home, and then he's killed, but then he has to resurrect. And then the final scene, he returns with the elixir. He's in the call box, and he makes a call to the architect of the Matrix, as we can discover in the subsequent movies, saying, "Right, you don't want me to show these people what I'm going to show them. I'm going to wake them up to reality. I'm going to show them a world without rules, without borders, without boundaries, and where we go from there is up to you." So it's like game on, right? I'm going to show them the truth. And then he flies, literally flies up from. And so it's like, okay, so that power that he started to get now has come into fruition. He's the real deal. He's the full deal. And he's come back into the world as this awakened, enlightened being to bring the truth into the Matrix. Classic hero's journey. So a little summary, using the Matrix, but that's the sort of blueprint for all of these great movies. Whether it's the Matrix, Avatar, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, they're all framed on the same hero's journey, which is why they're successful movies, because people love the hero's journey. Because it speaks to us, doesn't it? We see a character going through that, and it speaks to a part of us that knows that that's true. That's true of our own lives as well. And we resonate with the character. We identify with the character, which is, what any movie maker wants you to do. As soon as you bought in to the character and the story, they've hooked your interest, and you're gonna grab your attention. You're gonna watch the movie. If you want to know more, that article is really good. I don't know if you ever read this, Elaine, but it's definitely worth the read. Practical Guide to Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey, and it goes through the stages in some detail. Well, it's quite a long article, but yeah, really, really interesting. He had 17 stages of the hero's journey, modified 12 hero's journey steps. All of this hero's journey in films. Really, really interesting stuff. So I'll leave that for you to read. The quote's very appropriate because it's the end of a course. In your case, you didn't do it, but you have in the past. But it's the beginning of a new spiritual path. So the course ends, but the program begins, a new spiritual path. Membership of a spiritual community begins. But in a way, it is a beginning for you because you had a little break and you're restarting. So the end is the beginning. The end of one cycle is the beginning of another one, because life goes in cycles. That's what the hero's journey is saying. So you know the drill. You're going to get all the stuff every day on email. You're going to get. I've added you back to the mailing list, by the way, so you'll start getting emails from
thank you. Yes.
Tomorrow, and you get the Telegram messages, and then you just use the material in a way that's helpful for you. So that this advances reminds you. These are just reminders.
Yes.
The truth that you already know, but it's helpful to be reminded when you're tempted to forget. That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
Today's mind training lesson is about holiness, which is not a very normal word. You'll never read the word in the press, in any kind of magazine, any conventional literature. It's not a word that's really used anymore. It's considered a bit archaic and old-fashioned. You're holy, right? Have you ever seen that in the popular press? I've never seen that word used ever.
No.
It doesn't get used. So he's using it in Course in Miracles to make a statement, to say, yeah, okay, so let's use this word because it's bringing in a different quality. It's bringing in something that is going to be a very, very different experience from your normal worldly experience. So even those on a so-called spiritual path often have no idea what it really means. What does holiness actually mean? And obviously there's connotations of holier than thou. A lot of people have quite a negative comment. Oh, you're so holier than thou. That's how people might use the term. You're holier than thou, which isn't a very positive context. So like someone who's very pious, very self-righteous, and that can happen. Spiritual ego is there, but that person isn't truly holy. Being truly holy is being awakened, is being enlightened, is knowing who you really are, is whole awareness, is being identified with your true or your pure formless awareness rather than your ego, your separate self identity. So this quote from a recent Pope, this was Pope John Paul, who lived, I don't know when he died, about 20 years ago or something, so relatively recent, tells us why it's important, and whatever you may think of the Catholic Church, what he says is true, which shows that the truth still exists, even in an institution that seemingly epitomizes the ego's distortion of this truth. Right? It's still there, it's been covered over. He said, do not, maybe you read that, Elaine.
Do not be afraid to be holy. Have the courage and the humility to present yourselves to present yourselves to the world determined to be holy, since full true freedom is born with holiness.
Born from holiness. Yeah. So he's using the word holy, but you could substitute You could substitute integrous. You could substitute whole yourselves. So change that and change the word holy to whole and see how
Whole.
that changes it. Yeah. Read it
Yeah.
again with the word whole instead of holy.
Do not be afraid to be whole. Have the courage and the humility to present yourselves to the world, determined to be whole, since full true freedom is born from wholeness.
Yeah. Kind of changes it, doesn't it?
Mm.
Just the wording. It's the same. It's actually the same meaning. But the change of word just takes it out of that whole church connotation of holy and any negative connotations people have to do with religion, particularly the Christian church, because it's associated with Christianity mostly, that word. And it says just be whole, be complete, be who you really are. That's what it's really saying. Have the courage to be who you really are. Okay, well, that's not that revolutionary. In fact, that's the perennial philosophy, right? Know thyself. Have the courage to go on this journey of learning who you are, of knowing thyself. That's the hero's journey. So Pope John Paul is just really stating the same thing as all the other masters, and he's talking about the hero's journey, just in different language. Can you see that?
Mm.
It's all actually the same, just but language puts people off. Someone might read that and go, "Oh no, I really don't like that." I'm more into like new age stuff, and I like alternative language, but actually, he's saying the same thing. Just get over the term holy, and then you see the truth behind it. Full true freedom is born from wholeness. Well, yes, obviously, you can't be unwhole. You can't have a fragmented mind, a split mind, and expect to be free because you've got a split mind. You're not free. You've got two voices conflicting, and that's not freedom. That's inner conflict. So very well said. Even though he's the Pope and the institution itself is very flawed, it doesn't mean that the truth can't still come through in these instances. And then we need to acknowledge it and recognize it. And go, oh, okay, well, it's because of Catholic. It's coming from a Pope who's part of the Catholic Church. Okay, it's all rubbish. To go, no, actually, there's truth here. Just see it for what it is. It's the truth coming through in even in that construct of religious thought, which a lot of which isn't true, but it's finding a way to express itself through this voice. In this case, a pope. It was just the same as actually everyone else's. He just happened to, in that lifetime, get a very high position in that institution, which we call pope. But actually, he's no different from anyone else. All right. So I think that prepares us nicely for the lesson. So let's dive into that, shall we? Give me a moment. It's going to get this going. We'll do the lesson, we'll do a meditation. Oh, there we go, it's being a bit slow. Alrighty, so let's probably need to switch the recording device. It's going to be a conversation. So this is lesson 36. So we've done the first 35 in the course. So if you can read that, Elaine. Should we read original alternative? Should we do that? There isn't actually that much in the lesson, but there's a couple of alternative bits. So I'll read the original. My holiness envelops everything I see. You read the alternative.
Yeah. My pure formless awareness envelops everything I perceive.
Yeah, so a couple of things have changed. Holiness becomes pure formless awareness, which again changes it, doesn't it? Holiness is, or you could say my wholeness if you prefer. My wholeness envelops everything I perceive. It's another way of saying it. But pure formless awareness points you to the very essence of what that awareness is, which is why I use it. So it points you into that field of no thingness. That sense of nothing going on. When I asked you that question, you access briefly the state of pure formless awareness.
Yes.
There was no thought. Pure formless awareness is thoughtless, but it feels very peaceful, very open, very spacious, as you say, very pleasant, because there's nothing really to worry yourself about. Thought is very taxing on our minds. You're constantly thinking. That is the definition of hell. There's no spacious awareness. You've forgotten all that, and you're just thinking all the time. Lost in thought. That's the human condition. As Eckhart Tolle says in one of his books, Stillness Speaks. The human condition, lost in thought. Very astute observation on the human condition, isn't it? So that's what we all are. If you're not aware of your pure formless awareness, your holiness, in Course language, then you're lost in thought. You're lost in a world of illusion, and you've forgotten who you are, and you don't really know what the world is for. Simple as that. You're asleep, in other words. But if you claim it back, you say, my pure formless awareness envelops everything I perceive, because it's the underlying awareness that underlies all of the forms. Underneath every form, this awareness is still there. It's the screen onto which all the forms are projected, to use that analogy which I've used before. So the screen doesn't change. The screen is uniform, the screen never changes, the screen is not affected by any of the images projected over it, onto it, in any way, right? You go to a movie screen, you watch a 2-hour movie, and then the projector turns off. What happens to the screen? It just doesn't have any images covering it, but the screen's still the same. It's unaffected by any of those images. It remains a blank white screen, right? So that, therein in that simple analogy lies the truth. Hundreds of different movies in the life of a movie screen, hundreds, maybe thousands of different movies get projected onto that screen over and over and over again. Same movie, and then the movie changes, different movie. None of that affects the screen in any way, shape, or form. The screen remains blank white screen. Always. It's not affected. So in the same way, our true awareness, our holiness, our pure formless awareness, whatever you want to call it, is unaffected by anything that's projected onto the screen of time-space, which is this world, this universe. So our job is just to recognize that and go, but the screen is the same. The awareness onto which it's all projected, which underlies it, is the same. It hasn't affected anything. So my pure formless awareness, which is in my mind, actually envelops everything I see, everything I perceive, because it underlies everything. Right? The screen underlies, that's what this is saying, right? In different language. The white space, the screen, underlies the images that are projected onto it. And that's always the case. It doesn't matter what images are going on, how scary, how exciting, how difficult, how challenging, whatever is happening, the screen is the same. The awareness onto which they projected remains. So that then gives you access to the truth in the face of whatever illusions the ego's invented, which is exactly what his lessons are designed to do. Okay, so let's dive into it, shall we? I'll read the original sentence by sentence. You read the alternative sentence by sentence.
Yeah.
So today's idea extends the idea for yesterday from the perceiver to the perceived.
Yeah. Let's move that out the way there.
Yeah.
Right.
Just the alternative paragraph. Number
Today's idea extends the idea for yesterday from the perceiver to the perceived.
So just extending the idea from yesterday, which was that my holiness blesses the world. And it's now saying I'm extending it outwards from the perceiver to the perceived thing, to bless the world. So you are holy because your mind is part of God's.
You are wholly innocent because your mind is part of perfect love's.
Yeah, or you could say wholly aware. That's an alternative, right? Wholly aware, wholly innocent. But I used innocent because in the next one he goes on about sin. He's saying, and because you are holy, your sight must be holy as well.
And because you are wholly innocent, your perception must be innocent as well.
Quote, sinless means without sin.
Quote, sinless means without sin.
You cannot be without sin a little.
You cannot be without sin a little.
You are sinless or not.
You are sinless or not.
So he's saying, it's like you're pregnant or you're not pregnant, right? You can't be half pregnant. It's a state. You're either that or you're not that. That's how non-duality works. You're either that or you're not that, but you can't be half sinful and half innocent. This is where formal religion gets it horribly wrong. So apparently you're full of sin. You have original sin, so the Catholic Church tells us. But you're redeemed in Christ. Christ has saved you because ultimately you're innocent, but you're still sinful. So how does that work exactly? This is why it's very confusing teaching. Because I'm sinful on one hand, but I'm redeemed and I'm saved by Jesus because ultimately I'm loved by God and I'm innocent. So I don't really get that, right? Which is it? Am I sinful or am I innocent? And they equivocate. It's very ambiguous. There's no clear answer, which is why it's confusing. Okay, so if your mind is part of God's, you must be sinless, or a part of his mind would be sinful.
If your mind is part of perfect love, you must be sinless and wholly innocent, or part of its mind would be sinful.
Yeah, there's a pure logic to that. Right? God is sinless, you're part of his mind, then you must also be sinless. It's the pure logic of it. Your sight is related to his holiness, not to your ego, and therefore not to your body.
Your perception is related to its pure formless awareness, not to your separate self, and therefore not to your body. And from the top?
Yeah.
Today's idea extends the idea of yesterday from the perceiver to the perceived. You are wholly innocent because your mind is part of perfect love's. And because you are wholly innocent, your perception must be innocent as well. Sinless means without sin. You cannot be without sin a little. You are sinless or not. If your mind is part of perfect love's, you must be sinless and wholly innocent, or a part of its mind would be sinful. Your perception is related to its pure formless awareness, not to your separate self, and therefore not to your body. It's just extending from yesterday's idea that the perceiver to the perceived, and perceiver to the perceived.
Yeah, and I mean the key idea is that you're either sinful or sinless. There's no in between.
Yeah.
If you're part of perfect loves, which is wholly innocent, then if you're part of perfect love, you must be sinless. You must be innocent. It's logical, right? If perfect love is wholly innocent, wholly sinless, you are part of perfect love, then you must also be, as perfect love is, wholly innocent. You can't be sinful then, in any way, shape, or form. That, obviously collapses the whole doctrine of original sin, on which the entire Catholic Church has been built. So it's not going to go down particularly well with that institution, but it's nevertheless the truth. You can't be sinful and innocent at the same time. It's one or the other. That's what he's saying. So your innocence comes from this pure awareness, this pure formless awareness, which is your holiness, that doesn't know about sin. When you're in that thoughtless state of awareness that you just experienced briefly, is there any sin?
No.
Exactly. So there's the answer. There's the truth.
Mm.
Because you can only be sinful if you're thinking.
Mm.
The thinking mind can think its way into sin and go, oh, yeah, but, I did this, or I didn't do this, or that person did this. And, now they're bad and I'm going to blame them. And that's all thought. But in that pure, simple awareness, all of that thought disappears. So does sin. There's just a pure awareness, which is naturally peaceful, naturally loving, naturally kind. It just is. I mean, those are just words we label it with. It's just a very simple, pleasant experience
Yeah.
in which there's no sin. So there's the truth. In that state, there's no sin. You're completely innocent. You're completely whole. Nothing is missing. Nothing is lacking. You don't need anything. You don't fear anything. You don't want anything. You don't desire anything. You're not scared of anything.
Mm.
It just is. It's just a pure, formless awareness, which is why I picked the name, because there's nothing really else to it. There's no subject object. Oh, I, subject, am sinful. Now I'm judging myself as an object. Or someone else is sinful. I, subject, judge this other person as sinful object. That all creates duality in the mind. That's
Mm.
all thinking. And you think how much time we invest in these kinds of thoughts
Yeah. Too much.
over and over. Yeah, it's way too much. I mean, but that's the whole point of time, is to get us to caught up in these pointless thought traps where we just go
Mm.
around and around and around, thinking we're actually achieving something. We're achieving absolutely nothing. It's just keeping us trapped
Yeah.
in our false thought system, which is kind of the whole point of time, to keep us trapped in the illusion of the separate self and its thought system. And it's designed to just keep us going round and around like the hamster on the wheel, just endlessly trying to live a better life, trying to get what we want, trying to find happiness, and never ever succeeding. Seek and do not find.
Mm.
That's the ego script, which is all very, very frustrating, very disheartening, very disappointing, etc., until you realize that it's just a game, it's just a trap.
Mm.
Once
Yeah.
you see the trap, you can spring the trap. You can go, okay, I see what's going on. So my way out is then obvious. I just need to let all this go or forgive it, all in course language. Okay, so then moving on. Any questions about that?
Yeah, no, that's clear. Thank you.
Yeah, this one is just really about the practicalities of practicing. So he's saying, again, just for all future reference, try and do this, Elaine, this year. Try and do it regularly through the day.
Mm.
So that's what you can really do to take your practice to another level. You
Yeah.
practice the lesson not just in the morning and the evening, practice it in between as well. Even if it's just
Mhm.
for a few seconds, even if it's for like 10 seconds. You
Yeah.
just think of the thought, you take a breath, you remind yourself, you connect with the feeling, and that's it. That's
Mm.
why he's given us such simple exercises. Because these are not difficult to remember. They're just very simple ideas. So try and do it regularly through the day, because what you're doing is you're topping yourself up, as it points out here. If you read that,
Mm.
quite a nice analogy that Kat is making here
Mm.
about protecting your mind. And the analogy is to a toxic kind of radiation site. So if you want to read that slide.
Mhm. Imagine you are constantly surrounded by dangerous radiation, and that to protect yourself today, you have 4 12-ounce medicinal shakes and a few dozen 1-ounce shots of the same medicine.
Yeah, so the four are the big practice periods. He's suggesting you do 4 big doses at regular intervals,
And then the
but the
little
doses
doses.
wear off, right? You're in a toxic environment. This is what he's saying. The world
Yeah.
is the projection of the ego. It's toxic. It's based on the projection of separation. And you see all this toxicity every day, all day around you. We're swimming in it.
We are.
So it's like we're in a radiation site, but we have this medicine that's going to protect us. It's going to keep us safe. So then it would be advisable to take the medicine, which is exactly what the lessons are. They're medicine for the mind. But if you don't take them, then what happens is the
wears off.
radiation starts to come in and you start
Mm.
feeling its effects, which is why if you don't do spiritual practice regularly, you start feeling your energy dropping. And that frequency of energy we talked about starts to lower. And then the ego's like, okay, now we've got you on the back foot. Now we're going to amp it up. Now we're going to try and take you even lower and lower and lower. And if you allow that to keep happening, you end up being a complete victim of the world. The lowest possible self-concept is the victim. It's saying, oh, woe is me. This is terrible. Let's just go here quickly. You can see at the very bottom of the descent into hell, come all the way down the ladder, and you end up being the victim of the world. And the ego wants to take you there, because then it's got you nicely locked up in its prison, believing that you really are a separate self and a victim of external circumstances that are not your fault. And someone else is to blame, it's not you. And so poor you're this helpless victim of a cruel world, suffering from all the limitation, lack, loneliness, suffering, and inevitable death. And life is just shit. Life is hell, and then you die. Well, that's a really pathetic self-concept, given who you really are. To believe that is a complete denial of who you really are, right? It's the lowest self-concept you can have. You're a victim and you're completely powerless. But that's where the ego wants to take you. So never forget that is its final destination for you, which will then lead inevitably to death. But it's not done with you, because then it's going to reincarnate in another body and you recycle your victim identity and you do it all again in another body and you play out another victim story over and over again until eventually you get thoroughly sick of it and you say, okay, something's got to change. This is just hell. Like, I'm so tired of suffering. And that's when the Holy Spirit can come into your dream and say, okay, I'm going to show you a better way, show you how to reinterpret this and get out of the prison. Okay, does that all make sense?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, just practice regularly. Don't leave large gaps. The idea of the small, saying do the practice regularly 4 times in big doses and then regularly in between is that you just keep topping yourself up. And you keep that vigilance so that your guard doesn't slip, so that if something comes in, your energy is good, you're strong, you're vigilant, you're aware. And that, Elaine, is how you take it to the next level. That's how you get it to a level where you don't get sucked in. Is through a disciplined, regular practice of ideas, do them several times a day, set an alarm, make the time, which you have. You're not working full time or anything. So you have the time. It's just about like being disciplined. Saying, okay, every hour I'll take a minute and I'll just do it. It's not that long. And a minute is neither here nor there. And actually, a lot of it you can do while you're doing other stuff. You could be doing housework and still do your lesson, or cooking or cleaning or whatever, or walking the dog. Or you can do all of it while you actually doing the lesson. And that constant reminder then it creates a protective barrier. The other day, all hell was kicking off in Deborah's household, and I just reminded myself I could see peace instead of this.
Yeah.
And it was so helpful. It was just like, okay, just repeat that to yourself. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and it's a haven, isn't it? In the storm,
It is. Yes. No,
what's going
I
on?
can
You can
find
just
that
go, okay, I can just go within, and I can find that that idea, the words connect me to that place within me. That's what they're meant to do. The words themselves don't mean anything. It's what they connect you to. Yeah, I can just find that safe place, that place where I'm okay. Everything's actually okay. and I'm not stressed and I'm not worried. I'm just in my pure awareness. And even a glimpse of that changes the situation. You can't then go back to it and be in the same state of stress because you've just gone into an altered state, a state of peace, and your mind has reminded itself that that's possible. You might come back. Yet the problem is without practice, the mind's likely to get going again, and then you forget that, and it gets covered over again, and you forget that peace. So that's why, continuous practice is needed. So that leads us to the practice, really. Let's just read the slides, and then we'll actually do a meditation, if you like.
Yeah.
So my holiness flows from God's holiness.
My
holiness
holiness.
is what it, yeah, you read that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My holiness is what enables me to really see. And my holiness shines out from me and envelops each thing I see so that I see it aglow with holiness or wholeness.
Yeah, it's quite a nice image there of a miner with a lamp, a headlamp. And that's shining wherever they go. That's shining and illuminating the darkness while they're doing their work, right? Digging, going about their daily life. That's illuminating everything they see. So it's shining out from you and getting you to see everything differently. So you see it in the light. You see it aglow with holiness. In other words, this awareness, the light is this awareness, which is internal. You connect with that, but then that shines out and you see that awareness that underlies all the forms that you see, that illuminates them, that envelops them, however you want to phrase it. The light in which you see. It's not a physical light, it's the light of true awareness, a non-judgmental awareness that simply sees the truth in everything. So that's quite a nice image, quite a nice little visualization exercise, which I'll guide you through. And then in the shorter exercise periods, he's saying, close your eyes and just repeat the idea. Then look about, so you can open your eyes, repeat it again. So he's saying you can do eyes open or eyes closed. It doesn't really matter because your holiness is everywhere. Whether your eyes are open, you can see it, or your eyes are closed, you can see it because it's not physical. And he's saying, just make it slowly, effortlessly, and unhurriedly. So there's no rush. It's very calm. What I like about these exercises, they're very calming. There's no rush to get them done. He's saying, look, just take it easy. Just pause, look around. Take the time to just notice everything. Because we're so busy rushing and doing stuff that we just forget to, okay, I can just pause and be still and notice. And that's okay. I'm not wasting my time. In fact, that's probably the best use of my time. Let's just notice stuff and just let it be. Okay, so then just this slide on holiness, if you read that.
Holiness is one of the most important words in the Course, so we need to embrace it. To be holy or to be whole is to have a pure, untainted, saintly nature, a nature so radiantly pure that it partakes in the divine nature. This nature inherently loves, blesses, and unites with others, and thus acts exactly like the will of God. To be sinful is to have a corrupt, contaminated, impure nature, a nature that does not merely feel guilty, but truly is guilty. The nature, what does that say?
This nature hates, attacks.
All right. And can you read
Can you
that?
not read that?
I can't see it properly, no.
Yeah, it's red on black, this one. And I'll read it. This nature hates, attacks, and withdraws from others for the sake of personal gain, and thus acts directly contrary to the will of God. So this nature is an attack on God. It's an attack on holiness. It's an attack on your true awareness. It's always attacking it. And it's telling you that this is a good thing to do. Bizarrely. I mean, like how the ego gets away with that. But that's what it's telling you to do. Always. That somehow this is a good idea. And the sooner you realize that it's a pack of lies, it's really not a good idea, the sooner you awaken from the ego. Because you have to realize that it's a lie. A liar and a deceiver, and it's going to lead you down the garden path to a lot of pain. Hatred, attack, fear, judgment, personal gain, all these things lead to a lot of pain. So then the question is, do I want to be in pain or do I want peace and love and joy? Because one thought system is going to bring me pain, guaranteed, and the other one is going to bring me peace. So on that basis, it's not difficult to choose, surely. Okay, so then read the last sentence in that. Course sees holiness as a matter of content.
The Course sees holiness as a matter of content, not form. What is the real content of our lives? What essential purpose are we expressing in our dealings with others? Those are the crucial questions.
Yeah, so it's not about, so this is where Yeshua again criticized the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And he said, you think you're so holy, and you go to the temple and you make your offerings and you pretend to be so holy, but actually inside of you, you're not holy at all. Inside of you, there's all these unclean thoughts, which is why that came out in the behavior. It's why they valued their fine clothes and they liked the status and the position that their position as a Pharisee or Sadducee gave them. And he criticized them. He said, "Hang on, that's not holy. You're not really being authentic here, guys. You're being unintegrous." Of course, they didn't like it at all because it was true. Yeah. So here's the lesson. This, by the way, is a lovely song, Parandraka, which is beautiful. If we can play it. YouTube would probably ban my video if I play it. So I'm not going to do that. But listen to it.
I will,
Because
yes.
it's copyrighted, so then it's they'll probably have a copyright issue, and then
I'll
have to take the video down or edit it, and just the whole, which is because it's really lovely. It's a lovely song, but she's singing about holy, 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 holy. So
okay, I'll listen to that.
Beautiful, yeah. So that leads us to our meditation. So we'll just do 10 minutes. So close it out. Make yourself comfortable. So this is a meditation on today's lesson, 36. So just sitting comfortably, your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. And cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pause at the top of the inhale. And just repeat today's idea in its original and alternative forms. So my holiness envelops everything I see. Or alternatively, my pure formless awareness envelops everything I perceive. say that idea a few times, whichever form is better for you, whichever you resonate more with. Either my holiness envelops everything I see, say that 3 or 4 times, or my pure formless awareness envelops everything I perceive. So let the idea sink in. Notice how you're feeling when you say this. Remember, this is extending the idea of your holiness, your wholeness, in other words, your holy, innocent nature. So it's extending it outwards. So you can now perceive everyone and everything through this lens of holiness, of whole awareness, which is by definition sinless or innocent. It's perfect, it's whole, it's complete. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Just breathe, relax, be still, and let this whole awareness sink into you. Going deeper and deeper with each breath to this still, calm, peaceful place. Say self one more time, my holiness develops everything I see. So any thoughts that are coming up by the idea, say my holiness, my pure formless awareness envelops that. Maybe it's a person you're thinking about, a situation which involves a number of people. My holiness envelops that situation. My holiness envelops that, whatever it is, coming to mind. To do it internally, just breathing in as you breathe in, and out through your nose. So feeling this deep awareness, this holiness, breathing into it, deepening into your heart, one in your heart center to really feel into it. Just keep breathing, sinking deeper and deeper with each breath. Feel this holiness, this pure awareness in your heart. Put one hand in your heart center, if that makes a difference. Connect with that feeling in your heart. Getting deeper and deeper, going deeper and deeper with each breath. And more relaxed with each breath. Deeper and deeper with each breath. Any thoughts come in, disturb your peace in any way, just remind yourself, my holiness or my pure formless awareness envelops that, whatever you're thinking about, person, situation, object, place, event, so on. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Just breathe, relax, and be still. So, gently coming back now from this deep, connected state of awareness. Find yourself with the idea, my pure awareness develops everything I see. Everything I think. So apply the idea to your inner world. On the count of three, you're going to open your eyes. 1, just breathing in, noticing how your stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air into the nostrils. Breathing in, pause at the top of the inhale. Notice the breath flowing in. Pause at the top of the inhale. Scan your mind. Notice any thoughts, emotions, related body sensations going on. Breathe into all of those. Find some whatever's going on, just notice it, and it feels out of place, untoward. Remind yourself that my holiness or my pure formless awareness envelops that person, that situation, whatever it is. Breathe in. Imagine you breathing in this awareness. Imagine it as a golden or white light, if you like. And just let it go. If it's not who you really are, it's not authentic, just exhale, blow it all out. Blow it all out with the breeze of your breath. The nothingness that it really is. On the count of 2, notice how the air flows out, chest and the stomach suck back in, your energy subsides back down from the crown of your head, down into your lower stomach, your groin. And notice on the count of 2 how your body, weight of your body presses down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling and touching, your hands. As you breathe in, maybe there's a subtle smell in your nose, taste in your mouth. Just notice all these things. Very clear, calm, detached awareness. There's no need to name or judge or label any of it. So my pure formless awareness envelops all of it. Everything I perceive, enveloped by my pure formless awareness. Pure formless awareness envelops everything I perceive. Now on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So look around and just practice the lesson for a couple of minutes as you look around and say to yourself as you see whatever your eyes happen to rest on, just say, it's my holiness or my pure formless awareness, if you prefer, envelops that rug, for instance, if there's a rug in the room, or envelops that carpet. And then look to something else, whatever your eyes happen to rest on, just describe it in my pure formless awareness. Envelops that wall, perhaps, or envelops that chair, envelops this body. You can look at your own body, look at your hand, the rest of your body. Say the statement very slowly. No rush, just very casually. Look around a bit further afield. Whatever you see, your eyes focus on. Just don't select anything, don't avoid anything, just randomly. Notice the peaceful sense that you have as you repeat this. It takes you into a very nice, calm, peaceful state. So look around the whole room and remind yourself, my holiness, my pure formless awareness envelops everything that I see, everything I perceive. Enveloped by my pure formless awareness, because my pure formless awareness underlies everything. Close your eyes. So my pure formless awareness envelops this room. Pure formless awareness envelops this house. Pure formless awareness envelops this body. Feel into that. Really connect with this pure awareness in your heart and your mind. Integrate it. And open your eyes again one more time. Go around and say, my holiness and my pure formless awareness envelops everything that I see or perceive. Just let that idea sit for a few seconds. Notice how peaceful, calm, restful, detached perhaps, aware. Notice how you're feeling, because this is a little glimpse into a higher awareness, which is what you are. So one more time, say my holiness, my pure formless awareness envelops everything I perceive. And so it is. Amen. So just anchor the state. Notice how you're feeling. Should be feeling really calm, really peaceful, ready for bed. So don't do anything untoward. Just use this as part of your preparation for bed. Maybe practice one more time before you go to bed. And that should you have a very early, very pure wholly aware night and sleep. Just want to wish you. Okay, so that's the meditation. Thanks, Elaine.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah.
All good?
Yes, nice and chilled.
Yeah. Nice way to just kind of wind down and
It is.
go for bed. Which is the idea, that you just relax and you feel into these. So try this year to just like feel into the lessons more and just it's ultimately designed to evoke a feeling. And that feeling is always peaceful and calm and loving and joyful. And the variations on one feeling. But at the very core foundation of that feeling, it feels peaceful.
Yeah.
That's how you distinguish the ego from Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit's never peaceful. The ego is never peaceful. The Holy Spirit is always brings peace. So, yeah. Great.
Very good. Thank
All
you.
right. Very good. Very good. Yay!
Yay. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back. Okay. Nice
Lovely to
to
be
see
back.
you.
Yes.
All right. So I will see you again next week sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. See you next
Maybe
week.
Monday or Tuesday next week. Just watch the group.
Will do. Yeah.
You know.
Okay. That's great.
Okay. Have a good week,
Okay.
Elaine.
You too. Namaste.
Namaste.
Good night.
Okay. Night. Bye for now. Alrighty. So that is a wrap for today. Just if you enjoyed the session, then why not hit the subscribe button so that you get notified whenever I go live, which will be 2 or 3 times a week from next week. You can also go to lifepool.com. You can see that down in the comments box or in this background. You can see the spelling of lifepool. Just type it.com and you can sign up there to join my Telegram group, which will give you free access to a daily quote and an inspirational message and the mind training lesson for the day, along with a short mini meditation or breath break to practice it, as well as these live sessions and some other resources as well. So check it out. If you want to take the next step, go to lifepool.com, sign up, and make sure you have Telegram, which is a free app you can download on the App Store or the Google Play Store. Make sure you have that on your phone or your mobile device, and then I'll be able to add you to the group, and you're in, and you'll be able to start getting actually incredibly valuable mind training material for free. And if you'd like to take a further step, you can join us in any of the live sessions, because I do let you know when the live sessions are happening, as well as about other events. I'm doing a masterclass soon, so join the group and I'll let you know about that Art of Letting Go masterclass, which will give you a lot more insight into the Art of Letting Go, what it's really all about, and most importantly, how you can learn it and master it in your life. Okay, so that's me for today. Thank you for watching or listening. Appreciate your time, your presence, your energy. Hope you'll subscribe or join us in the Telegram group, and maybe I'll just connect with you at some point in the group or in one of these sessions. Who knows? So wishing you well, and hope to catch you soon. Namaste, which means the innocent self in me honors that same pure innocent self in you, your true self. And wishing you much love, peace, and joy in that self.